Teach us how this game works, Dustin. Hoplomachus.
Hoplomachus.
Hoplomachus Remastered.
So we are in a gladiator arena battle. Basically, we've all got different factions. So we've got the arena, and the arena's going to be doing different things. We're going to be earning crowd favor. That's what this line over here is for. This is us just amping up the crowd and getting them on our team side. We are going to be fighting in teams. We've got the red team and then the blue team. So I think we're gonna do diagonals or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
And then we've got these 2 stone pillars here. If we occupy these at the beginning of the turn, those also give us crowd favor, and killing people gives us crowd favor because, you know.
Yeah, right.
These are the in-game buff nerfs.
Yes.
Yeah, basically. The first one is activating your hero. So we're gonna go over our heroes here in a little bit, what they do, but. We won't start with any of them out at first. We'll just have our normal units. We've got a bunch of them from our factions that we're going to pick from. If you look over here, you can see some of them on mine.
Let's see if I got that set up. There we go. Kind of, sort of.
So I'm going to be picking 6 of these units here. We've got all kinds of stuff. We've got a Leviathan beast and a Beastmaster. The beasts roam around randomly unless you've got a Beastmaster to control them. The rest of these guys... have different abilities and stats and attacks. We're just going to go over what a unit is here real quick in the stats. So the top left, we've got this little green. That is going to be your unit's movement speed. During the movement phase, you can move them that amount of hexes.
Okay.
You can't move through other units. You can't move through anything that blocks you. And then the second one is going to be your range. For your attacking. This guy's got 2 range.
So he can hit dudes that are 2 hexes away from you.
2 hexes, so you can kind of see, but...
I don't want to change it.
No, don't do it. I'm just saying, so pretend like you can kind of see the outline. He can just do 2 hexes away.
Right.
And then he starts with 2 health. Obviously, a little heart is his health. And then, in the middle down here, you see the 2 dice. He's got a black dice and a yellow dice. That is going to be his attack dice when he rolls. We've got... different colored dice over here. So he would roll two of these dice here. If you look really close on these dice, you can see how many hits they've got based on the pips around the circle. So this one's got 2 faces that are going to have hits on them.
Because there's only 2 little indents on that circle.
And this one's got 5. So it's an
5
easy
out of
way.
5 out of 6 faces on that black die are hits.
Correct.
Got it.
So that's an easy way to tell that stuff.
Okay.
So that's the attacking.
There's also a very small number printed, but you cannot see that on camera.
I wouldn't try to look at that.
Yeah.
And then it's got the name right under the dice. And then you got your abilities below here. So there's 3 different kind of abilities you can have on a character. This one has an I, which means innate, which it's just like a passive. It's always active. He's got an S, which is a special attack. This can be used in place of an attack. Like instead of, forego your attack and you can use your special attack.
Okay.
And then there's also
the
little yellow A for an ability. Okay. So the ability has its own phase when those go off, and it's before the attack goes.
Got
so
it.
You'll be able to do an ability and an attack or special. Basically, and those are the types. And we've got these. Kyle's looking through it now, but we've got a couple references to show all the different abilities. It's only
there's a ton of them.
It's only 1 page front and back though. It's much lighter than that because this is all the abilities in the game fit on 1 page front and back.
This game does look a lot lighter.
Yeah,
than Cloud
it's
Spire.
much lighter. And then the last thing on here is just the class skill. It won't really come into account for anything we're doing here. There's a lot of
the class type or whatever.
Yeah, in
it
the
matters
solo,
with the Beastmasters. You were mentioning that. Oh. Well, yeah, because if you don't have a Beastmaster, then your beasts.
Oh well, that's
move
not
at
the
random.
class. That's an ability on your Beastmaster guy.
Yes, but that pertains to these guys because they're beasts.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, it is a beast. So that is the only
only one that's going to matter for tonight. Okay.
So go ahead. Oh, and then let's talk about tactics. So everybody's got these tactic tokens here that
Four
we
of
can
them.
play on either our own units or other units. They're like physical buff and nerfs that we can do on people. There's a phase where we can deploy these. This one here, to bolster health. I can give one of my units 2 HP. That one's self-explanatory. I use it, give them HP, discard it. Hamstring. This one is a permanent tactic, which means this unit cannot attack on a turn it uses its movement. So hamstring won't ever go away on a unit. It's permanent until that unit dies. And that's just, it's a new restriction it gives on the unit. And then there's adrenaline, which gives it's another permanent, and it gives a unit +1 move speed. And then we all have one unique tactic, unique to our factions. I have one called Poised, where I can play it on one of my own units. It's instant, and that unit is no longer dazed.
Okay.
So dazed, basically, when a unit deploys onto the map, I've got these little special tokens that I use because I forget when I'm playing solo, but it's nice. So they'll come onto the map and they'll be dazed, and that basically means they can't attack,
They can't
or move,
do anything
or
until
do
your next
anything
turn,
until
yeah.
next turn. Some
They have summoning sickness.
Yes.
there are some units that get around the summoning sickness with tactical. Is one of the abilities, and that lets you move while you're dazed from the deploy step. So you still can't attack, but you can move with those guys. And then first strike on like this marksman here lets you attack when you're dazed from the deploy, but you can't move.
Okay.
So those are the two main ones from those. I thought I would just call those out. The rest of the abilities and stuff should...
We'll go over as they come up.
Yep, as they come up, or you can read them as we're playing. But basically, the rules of the game is we're going to be taking turns in our teams to deploy our units onto the arena on our one of our deployment hexes here. So we've got red, blue. So depending on the team, we're going to have those options here. And then our main goal, we're playing the Alliance mode, which is a 2v2 arena mode. Our goal to win, your team must defeat both opposing primary heroes. Your team may also win if the opposing team is forced to forfeit, which means you run out of units. Let's just go over player turn real quick. So on my turn, I'm going to check these stone hexes here to see if I've got any people on them. So if I've got one dude on these hexes here, I get 1 crowd favor for the team. If I've got 2 people on these hexes, I get 3 crowd favor for the team. This does not work. If Eric had a guy here, we wouldn't get 3, we would each just get 1. So it would be 2.
Because it's on your turn
It's on your
if you have
own
units.
troop. So
yeah.
your troop is your own faction's units.
Okay.
And then we're just allies. That's the first step. And then now I've got a deployment. Right? So you can deploy 1 unit per turn. And it has to be, since we're red, Eric and I can deploy on one of these spaces. If there's nowhere to deploy, if these are all covered by our own units or their units, you just can't deploy. If there's not enough health for you to deploy your unit fully, you can't deploy. When you deploy, you get dazed, as we said. And then at the start of your next turn, it goes away.
Okay.
After deployment phase, you have your tactic placement phase. At that point, you can do any of your tactics. The way that the tactics work, the only one that's not global is the hamstring. So the hamstring, you have to have a unit adjacent to the unit you want to hamstring, like the enemy unit you want to hamstring.
Yeah.
What about
Is
my
that also
stun?
the same for stun?
Same for stun. Okay, and then that's your tactic placement phase, and then you've got your movement phase. You can move all of your units up to their move speed.
Okay.
As you said, we've top left, whatever.
Right, the green number on the token.
Right. There's abilities like combat lock, I think which you went over.
Yeah.
That'll restrict some of that, but other than that, it's just pretty standard movement.
Everybody gets to move up to their move speed.
Yep. And then you go to the abilities phase, and that's when we talked about the little yellow A, that's when any of those would trigger.
Okay.
And then after that, we go to the engage, which is the combat. So this is where you would do your attacking. So let's say that I've got my unit here. So we've got the Sphinx versus the Laquarius. So I've got Taunt and Hook. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You have 5 health.
Let's say he was there, and it's the ability step. So I use my Hook ability, which lets me pull a unit 2 away to right next to me. Cool. So now it's my engage step, and I want to attack this guy. So I'm going to check all my dice that I can roll. He only gets 1 green. So I go ahead and I would chuck it. Oh, I got 1 hit. Do you have any abilities here? No, nothing that would...
Dig in.
Dig-ins for your combat.
Nothing useful.
Roaming affects your movement, and combat lock adjusts. Like, I can't, leave now without attacking you, basically.
So you hit me.
I hit you for 1 damage. Boom. Done.
And that's how that works.
Engaged. And then if I had more people, I would do the same thing.
Yeah. And if I run out of the health,
you're dead.
I'm dead, and this goes away.
Yep, and they go to the graveyard. They're out. They're done.
What's our end goal?
To
wipe
win,
out...
your team must defeat both opposing primary heroes. Your team may also win if the opposing team is forced to forfeit.
Which means we've wiped out all their guys.
During the deployment step of any player's turn, if that player's team has no units in combat and the player cannot deploy a unit, their team immediately forfeits.
Oh, and you can't deploy anything. Okay.
So if somebody blocks you from deploying stuff before you get stuff out, so you don't want to... Okay.
That'd be an ugly victory.
Hey, thanks for hanging out. If you want to spend more time with us, do us a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and most importantly, head on over to twitch.tv/BNB Tabletop and give us a follow there. We play board games live every Sunday night at 5 p.m. Pacific Time on a show we call The Board and Barrel. And we like to keep things interactive. You guys can influence what happens throughout the course of a game with our Buff and Nerf house rules. You can also make predictions on how things are going to pan out, play virtual bingo for a chance to win a free board game of your own, and heckle us and stuff from the chat. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you Sunday night.